I am in Harvey at the meeting. They have a board meeting today. This is a one that all of the community is really looking like they're coming out to. Wonder what's gonna happen, what's gonna pop off. So definitely outside. So I just want y'all to follow along with me. I'm just peeping the scene right now and let y'all see what's going on. It's actually people assembling. I left my walker at home because I took it out of my car yesterday when I went to court, and I always keep it in my car because I don't never put it in the house, so it's in my house. And I left it. So I am sitting in my car until they open these doors. So I got this backpack with me. Luckily, it's not heavy today. Luckily. And yes, I am parked in a disabled spot. Contrary to what folks think, I am disabled. Woo, the saga will continue. But yeah, so this is going to be an interest. They got police everywhere. I don't know if y'all see this, but they outside directing traffic and stuff. This is St. Mark's Church in Harvey. So it's definitely a scene. Just wonder what's gonna happen. I heard that that the mayor's already here. Ryan just texted me he's on his way. So this is they got cops everywhere and sheriffs. So I don't know what they finna say at this meeting, but I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad y'all joining in, tuning in to listen. And yeah, I got my body cam on too. I don't trust none of these people around here. Police officers, I got my camera in my car. Yes, I do not trust these folks. After yesterday's court hearing, I don't trust anyone. Stay away from me. If I don't invite you into my personal space, stay out of it. Don't come near me. If I don't call you or text you on a regular, leave me the fuck alone. That's just my thoughts. I'm just putting it out there to the world in case this live is streamed on anybody's broadcast, so that way everybody can get the word and spread it. Leave me alone. Keep me out of y'all fraudulent group chats. So we here, just waiting to see when they're gonna open the doors. And I gotta use the bathroom. But guess what, y'all? I just went and got blueberries. Bloop, bloop. Is my chat on? I don't even know if people can hear me. Cause I ain't. Let me see. Get this straight while I'm right here. Okay, the volume is up. All right. And we just wait. Let me see what else. Wish I ain't got nothing in this bag they're gonna talk about. They even got sheriffs. Why the sheriffs here so heavily? This is a heavy police presence, y'all. And the news media is here. I'm finna get the fuck out because I'm finna get some coverage. I'm kind of excited. What the hell is finna happen? What my other thing got? This is my... Alright, that way I gotta hold this wrong. Get back out and get my keys. That way I don't have to get to the back of the line. I see our older woman, Miss Kobe Chapman. She just walked up. I got out right in time. Let me lock my door. Hey. Hey, how are you? Older woman. Hey. You look cute. Mm-hmm. Hey, how y'all doing? We like double teaming you up here with the love. How y'all doing? Oh, shit. Thank you, because I'm about to fall. Thank you. Yeah, I'm gonna put my key on. No, I'm gonna put it on my walker. I mean, I left my walker at home because I went to court yesterday and I took it out of my car. I normally have it. Let me put my backpack on right.
So if the state wants to step in and do it right, let's just do it right. Scratch everything before let's do it right. Let's get it right. So I don't know. But I'd also like you all to know that on Sunday at 3 p.m. there was a city, a special meeting where we were going to receive $1,141,000 that will be allocated to it was told to me via the corporate council through a text message, through payroll, for payroll, to make payroll was this Friday. And then I was told it was also for infrastructure. So it's mind blowing to me. I love the Lord, right? We got 30 plus churches. Harvey is a temporary settlement. We have churches everywhere. It's a Christian community in Harvey Turley, right? That's who founded this city. So, but we spent $32,000 on a gospel concert on Sunday.
Where?
Here at Thornton Township.
And while I love the Lord, we could have used that for something else. All the churches pay for a business license. The churches in Harvey got an anchor. We don't even have a grocery store here. Right. So it's not about pointing the fingers, right? But in order for us
to get out of this hole,
right, we got to do it transparent. Yeah. So I hope they lay it all out to them.
Yes.
I pray for you. We here for you. All right.
Now, who is she? An alderman?
She's the older woman for the second ward. Yes. She's actually running for mayor. Kobe Chapman. Yes, she's
You're not allowed to go in yet?
no, not yet. They are not happy with us right now. They're not happy with us on their own mistakes. That's what's crazy. The residents didn't do this.
Starting at the top,
Yes.
whatever the top is, a truck.
You have
on this bad mentality.
Yeah.
We the people.
Absolutely. You see how many police officers out here for a board meeting? Why do they have so many cops out here when they should be on the streets? This is ridiculous. Am I wrong? Okay, because you know what's going on in Harvey right now. So why are they all here and we're peaceful? This makes no sense. But you see what the mayor is allowing to do, right? As long as y'all are paying attention, just know what he's trying to do. And this is shameful. This is very shameful for Harvey. I hate to see this, but I love to expose it. And remember, Kobe is running for mayor. So, yes, ma'am. Harvey needs change. And with this gonna help her even better. Yes, because if they take over the finances, then all she can do is just focus on the city. And she won't have to worry about that. You see what I'm saying? So this is very good for people. Mm-hmm.
Go straight to your left. Straight to your left. Go straight to your left, your immediate area in
Okay.
the corner.
I got it. I don't have my walker though. Yeah, I don't have my walker. That's why I need to zip it. Yeah, because I'm going to fall.
I don't know the phone.
Yeah, I can't either because I don't want to fall. Thank you.
Let me get the key to 402.
I gotta protect my correspondence, man. I sure do need one.
Yeah, see how far back they got the media? This is crazy. This is nuts. We so happy that they did this today. Let me put up my stuff. How you doing today?
So I've not been to a Harvey City Council meeting before. Are they usually here?
Yeah. So no, they're never here.
Okay.
This is new.
This seems, yeah.
So I've been coming and streaming these meetings for quite some time over the years, and this is like like I don't know what this is about. Let me just say that. Well, I know what it's supposed to be about, but I don't know why it's here. So this is interesting.
Yeah. Nice to meet you. I'm Evie. I'm a reporter for
Vivian.
the Daily South.
Oh, I have a YouTube channel. It's called Your Favorite Survivor,
Okay.
and I try and live stream every meeting that I can because watching the corruption, watching what he's trying to do. He's trying to get himself out of something, and if you're really serious about a story, I have a civil conspiracy case against Jedediah Brown, and I went to trial for it yesterday, and it's really going good. So I'm about to refile my case. The judge told me to amend it, to amend my complaint, and yeah, I'm about to get on him. But I think that's why he's doing this low key, because he messed up with the finances,
Yeah.
with everything. Then you let a scammer in your community, and then you validated him, knowing that he's a fraud. So it's gonna be interesting how this meeting is going to go.
And we gonna excuse me. We gonna probably have to move that over there. And we put him, there you go. That's not knocking his. Thank you.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was in.
Yeah, we have it pushed pretty far back, and my audio did not reach
Oh, sorry. I don't have a card, but I can give you my number.
Okay, cool. I will talk to you soon.
I just want to send it up so you can just look it over.
Yeah, I mean,
your own docs?
can you just put your email down?
I will. Yeah, and then you just email me, and then when I get home, everything I have for my trial, I'm sending to the FBI too. It's very serious. That's why he's doing it.
Yeah. How you want me to do it? Tell me what you want me to do.
How you doing? I just need to get this to the low level.
This low. What about you?
Oh, I'm coming down after
With it or after?
right here.
I called you. I figured you were
Oh,
probably
live.
you were in the line. I just wanted to make sure you're okay. This is all very unconventional. Like, I've never been to this church before.
I had my daughter in my somebody else graduated here. My daughter's graduated here. Normally Roosevelt Junior High uses this church for graduations. So District 148, they have a lot of graduations here, and then a lot of people that I know have had funerals for their loved ones here. So this is a community church that's used a lot, especially for graduations.
I was going to say, the space is generous.
My daughter graduated here in 8th grade. I've done a couple
Is this
of
your
things.
camera?
Yeah, it's
I'm gonna
on
need
your
to
way.
swing. I'm gonna need to swing around a little bit.
Okay.
If you
I have to put it up here. My thing is tall. Don't
I
worry about
actually
it.
came from up there because I was like,
Yeah,
I can't move.
you can't. Okay, I'll just go inside of yours. Wherever you.
What about if you did?
Right.
If you want to swing over here.
Yeah, I'll just swing it over there. Oh, excuse me. Don't be-
Are we allowed?
I just didn't want to knock you over if they
No,
took
it's
shots
not
of
gonna knock
food
me
taken out. Well,
As long as
well, hold on a second. Let me see if I can.
As long as I can stand it there, it's okay.
How did they
Yeah, it
say
should be
how
okay.
far they want us?
They said you can't go past this.
This little barrier right here?
No, we never have meetings here. Never.
Yeah, this is all highly abnormal.
This is, he's trying to cover his tracks.
So I don't know what's happening. But I'm glad you guys are here. Oh, channel 7?
I'm.
He just told us we can stay right
Yeah.
here. He just said that. the
He's
police
over
officer-
here too. I had somebody else come down
He
and
said
tell
it
me
was
I can
fine.
sit here
It's
because I
business.
got my tripod still.
You just like go to the left.
I mean,
And then
there's
we
two
can-
sides though.
Right.
There's a meeting
Nobody
here
else is
and
here.
over here too.
don't see a sign right here.
Okay, well,
I'm
you
just
go
telling
over
you,
there.
I
I'll
asked
go
somebody who
there.
already saw it.
What you're saying.
Right. I'll
Hold
go
on, let me
there.
explain. I had somebody who told me I could specifically stand here after I asked about it, and they were
What
good
I'm
with
saying
that.
is, I'm fine with that. I need to check with him. He just called me and said the media has to be where the media signs are at. I don't see a media sign right here.
That's
So if
fine.
he told you
Okay.
the same person
All right. All right.
That's how they are. So
to find out if that's okay.
no, I'll move it.
It just kind of sounds like I'm being doubted.
You are.
Say that. I said I will check again with you.
I'll move. I don't want to.
So that means we
no
could go over
smoke.
there too.
Yeah, come on, let's go over here.
That would probably have better visibility.
Yeah.
By the wall.
I'm sorry, lad. We gotta move. This is so ridiculous. How you doing?
Far back. I mean,
It's fine.
I'd really like to be able to get closer.
It's fine. It's a sign over here.
My other reporter said they're going to put you in the corner.
That is-
Like, how
Yeah.
literal is that?
The public has a right to be present in public meetings, except executive session. That is defined by the Illinois Open Meetings
Me
Act.
too.
Each Harvey public meeting affords members of the public to submit written statements or make public comments during the public comment part of the meeting. However, persons in attendance are not allowed to act in an unreasonable manner that alarms or disturbs another and provokes a breach of the peace.
I'm sorry.
This can include making loud and unusual noises, clapping, speaking out, or interrupting during the city council meeting. One may not impede the performance of one's official duties. If any person acts in a disorderly manner at a public meeting and persists after being warned, the mayor, as the chairman, can order that person to withdraw or be removed from the meeting. If the person refuses, they can be removed and fined under the disorderly conduct statute. Disorderly conduct at a public meeting in Illinois involves any unreasonable behavior that disturbs others or disrupts the meeting, and it is subject to removal and penalties if it persists after a warning. This can include city employees as well as council members. Harvey police officers are present in public city council meetings to assist the chairman in preserving order. If any person is ordered to withdraw or leave the meeting by the chairman and refuses, that person will be cited and criminally charged with disorderly conduct. The Harvey Police Department can escort the person out of the building. If the person refuses to leave and physically resists the Harvey Police Department, that person will be charged with resisting arrest. Under Illinois law, resisting arrest is defined by knowingly resisting or obstructing the performance by one known to be that person, a police officer, firefighter, or correctional institutional employee. This constitutes a Class A misdemeanor. This statute that the act of resistance must involve some physical act that imposes an obstacle that may impede, hinder, interrupt, prevent, or delay the performance of an officer's duties. Examples include struggling, wrestling, going limp, or physically aiding a third party to avoid arrest. Illinois law explicitly states that a person is not authorized to use force to resist an arrest by a known peace officer, even if the arrest is believed to be or is in fact unlawful. Resistance of even an unlawful arrest by a known peace officer is a violation of state statute. Thank you.
Trying to make it so y'all can see. Hope y'all can see. Can y'all hear? Is my comments on? Anybody there? I think I'll be turning my comments on. Welcome. Okay. It's on. All right, y'all. Pay attention.
this meeting to order. This is the City of Harvey Special City Council meeting. Today is Thursday, October 16th, 2025. It is 5:39 p.m. We do roll call of the council members.
Alderwoman Lewinsky. Present. Alderperson Chapman. Present. Alderperson Smith. Present. Alderperson Key.
Present.
Alderperson Randall.
Present.
Alderperson Rogers.
Present.
Mayor Clark.
Present. All right, because we are in North Towns, hopefully we will not have any sort of passes, men of talk with it. But as our own, Pastor Harrison, if you lead us in the invitation, please. Yes.
Yes. Father God, we come before you in Jesus' name. We give you praise and we honor you, Father. But truly you are worthy of the praise and all the glory. We thank you, God, for all your many blessings, God, the things that you've done for us, the places you brought us through, the storms you brought us through, and even the fact that you're going to bring us through in these times, God, to come. We thank you, Father God, for this life, health, and strength. You are truly a wonderful and faithful God. We ask you to be a part of this meeting tonight. Bless us, God. Allow us to hear, allow us to say. And God, please cover us in this meeting. Let your presence be here. Let your glory fill this place. Touch this administration and touch this city and all those that are under the sound of our voice. And we give you glory. And we honor you in Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Point of order. Chair recognizes point of order.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to add a motion, to make a motion to amend the agenda by adding the automatic comments for all the persons to discuss issues and concerns.
This is a special meeting. Special meeting are not amended that particular way, as in the same course as regular meetings. We have specific requirements under the open meetings as far as what's supposed to be on the agenda. We followed that according to the law.
Point of information.
Yes.
Okay, as aldermen, are we allowed, or we're going to have opportunity to say anything about this situation? I feel everybody sitting at this table, and it's happened so suddenly, should be able to speak as much or as long as they want to, because there's a lot of confusion going on right now.
Well, we must do things in order, and of course, during the time, if we get to that point for a debate, then the council will be able to decide how long it wants to.
Yeah, but a debate is going to, it's not.
Please allow me to finish, sir.
Okay, I wasn't finished first.
Go ahead. Please, go ahead.
A debate and a question are not two of the same things. A question could be anything in general with the subject at all. A debate is when you're not going against something and why you're going for something. But to have a debate, you ask a question, the first thing you're going to say is that's not a debate. And then I won't get a chance to say nothing.
Well, thank you very much for that comment. Yes, we know it. We appreciate your addition at this point in time. Excuse me. Do we have it? But I would like, prior to going in to the rest of the meeting, if there is no objection, so that we can hear from the residents or those who are not residents as far as this particular matter is concerned. Is there any objection to allowing public comment to come before the presentation so that we can hear from those who are concerned? Hearing none, then we will move number 6, public comment, to number 5, That being said, our next item on the agenda is public comment. Public comment is encouraged and appreciated. It's the only opportunity for the public to address the city council on agenda items and other city-related business. In order to accomplish all business on the agenda and be respectful of everyone's time, council members will not engage in dialogue with individual members on the ordinance, and no immediate action will be taken on any public comment issues. When your name is called, please proceed and state your name. Please limit your comments to 3 minutes. No speaker may donate their time to another speaker. Comments shall be courteous and respectful at all times. No person may use public comment for the purpose of campaign or advertisement. This is not a question and answer time. The council cannot engage in conversation with the public. Questions and concerns about operations should be addressed with city staff during regular business hours. Our first public comment is Amanda A., followed by Brian Sinowski. Amanda A.
Where the public comment at? Oh.
Good evening, everyone. Special City Council meeting, another thing of this administration that gives me pause. Number one, changing up the public comment to me is a little confusing because it doesn't allow us to even give a comment about the ordinance, about financially distressed city law. After it has been presented, that we have to speak before. So I don't know if, again, that just seems, it gives me a little pause and makes me, it just seems like there's a lot of trickery going on in this administration, and it gives me pause. Also, it gives me pause about the meeting on Sunday, the emergency meeting, where I'm assuming if the meeting was on Sunday, you all posted the agenda on a Friday after business hours, no one knew about it, and then to make a snarky comment saying, oh, we had public comment. Of course, public comment was a part of the agenda, but the public was not there to give comment. So again, that gives me pause to have an emergency meeting that the public did not know about, and then you go to social media to post about this meeting, but didn't use social media to make us aware of the meeting on Sunday. That kind of gives me pause. And I'm also a little not happy with the alderman that's on the finance committee, because the financial distress city law, according to the Illinois Municipal League, basically declares us quote unquote bankrupt, and the state has to step in and help us with the financials. But when you all are sitting in these meetings that I've been coming to every quarter, and yet we talk about these bills, we unanimously pass them with no list, with no debate, and then here we are at the 11th hour screaming for help. What's the purpose of having a finance committee if we're not discussing this? This financial distress law didn't happen overnight. This has been years of mismanagement. And what do you all mean for every quarter if you're not going to address the elephant in the room? And then you decided to have gospel concerts and carnivals in the community. Those things cost us money. And if you don't have the money to have it, that's fine. But to scream bankrupt and then bring in a famous artist and pay them thousands of dollars, it doesn't make any sense. And whatever you're going to say in the presentation that you're going to have after this, it really doesn't mean anything because you should have never been to this point to begin with. And it just really gives me pause. It's like, what are we paying a lobbyist for? What are we paying for all these things for? And then you all say, we have all these donations, but we've never seen a letter of thank you for a donation. We've never seen a budget. We also are paying Casteric to do an audit for us. So then what does that mean? Why would we pay Casteric to do a 2022 audit, and then we're going to declare basically that we are in financial distress and we need the state to come in? It just doesn't make any sense here.
Yeah, good evening, everybody. My name is Ryan. I'm with the Harvey Historical Society. I'm also a Harvey president. I to thank Amanda and Ms. Eskew for those comments. I definitely second all of those. As you can see, I'm still in my work clothes from working on properties because the whole past 6 years, unfortunately, under Mayor Clark's administration has, even though I did support Mr. Clark initially, it's just been a lot of unanswered questions and another secret meeting after the secret meeting on Sunday, calling at 5:30 at a church instead of City Hall. I mean, most people are still working. Why isn't it at 7 o'clock? It's all very strange. I wanted to echo the concern about why did we just spend $30,000 on a gospel concert if the city is quote unquote broke, as Mayor Clark insists. What about all the fires that we're having? Why are there fires all the time? I've talked to the fire chief and other folks in the city, they never have any explanation. They just say, oh, squatters. So squatters are just regularly setting fires in Harvey, and we don't really have appropriate arson investigations going on. We don't have any reporting to the public about that. I mean, it doesn't seem very, it seems pretty suspicious to me. What about all of our unsolved crimes? What about the activist Jedediah Brown, who's working with Mayor Clark, who bragged about calling ICE to Harvey, and during the last city council meeting, because the mayor canceled the one that we were supposed to have most recently, Mayor Clark, instead of just saying, hey, I support everybody, human rights are human rights, told all of us we should just stay quiet. That's the best way to deal with, ICE violating human rights throughout the Chicagoland area. I mean, it doesn't cost any money to at least just say, hey, we think everybody should be treated fairly. But I guess we shouldn't be surprised, right? I've been arrested, my older woman's been arrested, many of us have been arrested, and our rights have been violated just for asking questions about where our money's going. So again, it's been 6 years of hiding money, arresting his opponents, ticketing people who say something under their breath at the city council meeting, and now we have another secret meeting tonight to ask the state to take over our finances. So what, and as Amanda said, how are we even really supposed to know what to ask for public comment? Because nothing has been explained. It's just all, we really just don't get told anything in the city, other than talked down to, and told that we're stupid, and told that Mayor Clark's the best mayor ever, and that we should all just sit down and shut up. And, but at the same time, we have all these department heads, including the mayor and other staff members, making 6 figures salaries from our tax money. So something's not adding up.
Your time is up.
So is his.
Thank you. Next, followed by Kennedy Harris.
Good evening, everyone. I'm so happy that we do have a complement of people present so that we can get an understanding as to what actually is happening. And I think that my thoughts about the entire situation and with that of the concerned citizens here of Harvey is that we have come out to find out the actual status rather than criticizing what is going on. We got to see what can we do to rectify the situation. How did we get into this kind of situation? Was it overnight? No. And this is what I personally am waiting to hear from our mayor as to the actual status and why we are here in the beginning and what can we do about it. A lot of the things that have been mentioned previously, not at this particular meeting, it was about what has gone pastward. Why do we stand in the path of retroactive things when we need to be going forward? The current things are what need to be moved about. We are citizens here that are paying high taxes, doing everything possible to move forward. And yet we are reacting in many instances in the manner of saying it doesn't matter. But it does matter. It does matter. There are many of us that are sitting here that are toiling every day to just maintain a individual status, not necessarily trying to go out and create a lot of things that are not necessary. We need to think harder and we need to work harder. And I love each and every one of you as citizens of Harvey, and I've been in the community over 56 years, so I can see what the difference is. I can see what is needed, what has been done, and what we need to move forward with. And I thank each of you for your attendance. Love you.
Next we have Kimberly Harris.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I was hoping that after the presentation today, that the following bullet points would be addressed, and if not, if there is something that will go out to the community to address, explaining what exactly is going to occur if this is indeed something that is passed by the city. Number one, the credit rating. Not just the credit rating of Harvey, but also the villages that share zip code with Harvey. Will this affect capital projects or potential development projects moving forward? That's a question that someone needs to ask, a decision maker needs to ask. Another question, long-term potential. We have seen, or we live in a state where the executive branch of the government has day-to-day effects in everyday life. How will this decision affect Harvey residents in our day-to-day life? Again, how does this affect city taxing bodies within the city? This will slow funding because when everything has to be approved through the state, that means that the state is going to look at everything. So this will slow funding to the library and also the park district. As decision makers, the executive branch of the government in the city of Harvey, have you spoken with, have you sat down with your other taxing bodies in your community to make sure that this is the best decision possible? Also, have you looked at or had conversations with other financially distressed cities, and how has it worked for them? What type of cuts did they have to make? What kind of decisions did they have to make? Was it a positive? Was it a negative? Was there anything they would have done differently? Was there anything they would have asked of if they knew, now that they are now in that financially distressed situation? As decision makers, have you done your research and asked these questions? Again, potential plan of the state in regards to Harvey. What is their vision if they intend to take over the finances of Harvey? Do they plan to cut services? Do they plan to divert funds to increase certain services? 30 seconds, okay? And then lastly, you must express to the homeowners that this will affect the value of their homes. This will lower the value of your home. How will this affect homeowners? How will this affect their taxes moving forward if they're potentially want to sell their property? If there are seniors here that have their property to fund their end of life things, time's up. Will they communicate?
Think about that.
Thank you, everyone. Next on the agenda is 5, presentation of Harvey's financial situation. 5A, an ordinance requesting certification and designation under the financially distressed city law.
There we go.
Yeah, Tim, started.
In case y'all can see. It's a big old glare on that one. There we go. In case y'all can read along. I'm gonna zoom in on the presentation once he start. I don't know what he waiting on. Here we go.
Well, I thank everyone for coming out this evening so that we can review some matters regarding the city of Harvey. This is actually a very narrow meeting. The first thing that happens, of course, when someone sees an agenda like this, is to basically try to take over the narrative and make it into something that they want to make it into. As far as the council is concerned, council, we will be asking you for one specific thing at this particular moment in time. But before we do so, we want to make sure that council and also our public understand current financial conditions in the park. In order to do so, it is also important for us to understand how we got to where we are and why things are where they are at this particular point in time. So, first of all, the city of Harvey is and will continue to be committed to operating in full transparency. This is something that I fought for when I was in Alderman. It's something that other members of our council have fought for and stand for, and all of our administration does. We want to make sure that we're educating everyone on our current financial situation the best that we possibly can at this particular time. Of course, there are going to be plenty of questions. We will have time for that. And we will have time to address those, and we'll try to address those as best as we possibly can. But we, at the same time, we have action that we need to, in my opinion, take care of today. Next slide. So we're going to go into the history of the city. Next slide. Now, prior to this administration, there were actually several administrations in the city of Harvey. We're going to start in 1995 with the Nicholas Graves situation and administration. Nicholas Graves was the mayor of the city of Harvey from 1995 to 2003. At that particular point in time, after him, of course, followed the Honorable Mayor Kellogg from 2003 to 2019, and then this administration at 2019 until present day. Next slide. Under the Kellogg's of the Graves administration, the city struggled with, first of all, probably one of the biggest revenue generators in the city of Harvey, which was, of course, Dixie Square Mall. But even though we had those challenges, and there were plenty of challenges under the Nicholas Graves administration, the Nicholas Graves administration was able to leave office in 2003 with approximately a $10 million surplus. So when we went into the Kellogg administration, we came in with approximately a $10 million surplus. Next slide. And then came the Kellogg administration. Next slide. And through that time, as you can see, the presentation through 2000 and 2009, in 2010, there were bond offerings for the hotel bill. For those of you who are not familiar with the hotel bill, there used to be a Holiday Inn on approximately 171st and Halsted. At that particular point in time, the Holiday Inn had closed. It became another hotel, and eventually that hotel closed its doors as well. Well, I guess in an attempt, because I really can't speak on that as far as what the actual purpose was. But during that time, there was a bond that was floated to try to rehabilitate that hotel. And that was in 2008, 2009, and 2010 bond offerings. At that particular point in time, Harvey, under the previous administration, engaged in a scheme, and this is quoted, to divert bond proceeds for improper purposes. These are not my statements. These are statements that were filed in a complaint by the Securities and Exchange Commission. And as a part of the scheme, Harvey made representation and omissions to investors about how those proceeds would be used. Well, of course, those proceeds were not used the way that they were supposed to be. And it was supposed to support the construction of the new hotel. The new hotel was never built. Those bonds were supposed to be paid from the revenue streams from the hotel. But once again, the hotel was never built. Basically, the hotel would generate what is called a hotel, motel, and sales tax to help to pay off the bond that was taken out during this particular point in time. Next slide. The city paid the developer, previous slide, please. There we go. The city paid the developer for the hotel. The hotel was never built. Now that's important to know because the city took out a bond. The city paid the developer for the hotel, but the hotel was never built. So let's just say you decide to take out a loan for a vehicle. And you take out, let's say $50,000 for the vehicle. But then you decide that after you get the loan for the vehicle, you're not going to buy the vehicle. You're just going to keep the money and use the money for other things. Maybe like shopping, buy some clothes, buy some other things that you may need, or you feel that you need, but you don't use that money for what it was intended for. That is what happened here. And based on the records, the hotel was never built. But in addition, the city diverted $1.7 million that was raised through the bond offering and put that into its operation account. Okay, now, during the time, there were so many investigations from the Chicago Tribune that the Chicago Tribune itself had been nominated for a Pulitzer Prize based on its investigative journalism into the city of Harvey. And two of its quotes were, quote, instead of building a hotel, the money borrowed from the backs of taxpayers built in 2008 to 2010 largely went into a black hole of accountability, with the hotel to this day left half done and Harvey residents on the hook to make loan payments of more than $20 million with little to no record of exactly where it went. Now some may say, well, how can we go from $8 million to $20 million? Those numbers don't necessarily jive. Over the course of the entire bond, the total amount would be somewhere approximately $20 million of what the city would have to pay back for a hotel in which it borrowed money, and that hotel was never built. The money disappeared. Second quote, Kellogg has since repeatedly refused to answer questions about the deal under oath, citing his constitutional right to avoid giving answers that could be used to prosecute him. Next slide. And so as a result, as you see on this slide, it says fine, but no repayment order. So the money disappeared. But we as the taxpayers in the city of Harvey were still on the hook for that money. We still have to pay that money back. So as a result, Harvey Mayor Kellogg at that time was fined $10,000. Millions of dollars disappeared. And he was fined $10,000 for the fraudulent bond offerings through the SEC investigation. And he was also ordered to no longer participate in municipal bond offerings for the rest of his life. But that didn't just have an impact on him. It had an impact on our city. Because our city at that particular point in time was ordered for a period of time to no longer be able to participate in bond offerings as well. Now, for those who don't understand the bond offering itself, it's basically a loan that the city takes out. The city takes out that loan to try to fund projects in the city. So, where if you wanted to do some work to your home, or you wanted to once again get a new vehicle, you may not have the cash on hand, so you go ahead and you take out a loan to do so. Well, some of the things that are looked at when you decide to take out that loan, what's the first thing they look at when they want to figure out if they're going to give you the loan or not? The credit. They want to know whether you've done with money that you have been loaned previously. So they look at your credit. In this particular case, when this issue happened, it took place in the city of Harvey, it drove whatever bond rating the city of Harvey may have had into the gutter. So even if, say, for instance, the city was to be able to get a loan, it probably would be so usurious that it would be like a payday loan. Okay, and the interest rate would be so high. If someone were to actually loan money, but at this particular point in time, no, entirely off the table. So where other communities have the ability to float revenue bonds and general obligation bonds to be able to take care of projects in their community. And that's really what you see in the vast majority of cities around us. It's not that some of them do have a little bit of money, but the vast majority of them, they use that tool, their ability to be able to borrow, which allows them to be able to take care of the things that they need to take care of. Harvey does not have the ability to do that. Okay. So we are already on, instead of a three-legged stool, we are on a two-legged stool, because one of those legs are already gone. The ability to be able to get those bonds. And the only thing that happened during this particular point in time was a $10,000 fine and no longer participating in bonds for the rest of one's life. Next slide. But while all of that was going on, the city of Harvey is still having to pay more and more lawsuits, more and more litigation, more and more workers' compensation cases. And this is what? For the city of Harvey had to pay $1.4 million. I know some people in this room have heard of this particular issue, but Harvey had to pay $1.4 million to settle the suit because of the simple fact that the city had, along with some of the officers, unfortunately, including the mayor, framed a young man and sent him to jail. He was framed in such a way that the Illinois Supreme Court issued him a certificate of innocence. Not saying he was found not guilty, but that he was innocent. And he was framed. Now, those are the lawsuits that, of course, all the things that we have to deal with are definitely unnecessary. And those are the things that cost our city more and more money. But that's what is happening. As this is going on, as we have $20 million that we basically lost in a hotel bill, then we turn around and we have to pay another $1.4 million on a lawsuit that should have never occurred. Next slide. But once again, the Chicago Tribune, and I have to really give some credit to those journalists at that particular point in time, because they wrote and wrote and wrote and wrote, and this is important when we go into where we're going to get, because some people try to act as if they never knew that any of this stuff was happening. Some folks are trying to act as if, maybe they were living under a rock at that time, and they had absolutely no clue that this was happening in the city of Harvey. Those who lived in the city of Harvey knew it was happening. And many of those who lived in the Chicagoland area knew that it was happening, but people turned a blind eye. Look at it. Harvey spending cash it doesn't have. We'll start off with sheriff's deputies ordered to send on Harvey City Hall. That's March 27, 2014. This is around the time that you remember this, Joe, when we were paying the mayor's son and all women Joyce, paying the mayor's son $80,000 a year to do a Facebook page for the city. Harvey spending cash it doesn't have, March 21st, 2014. March 2nd, 2014, FBI clams up on roll in Harvey mayoral election. Okay, now we're not going to touch too much into that, but basically what that refers to is the fact that $144,000 the FBI gave the administration, that candidate at the time, Eric Kellogg, $144,000 to support his campaign. Your federal government gave a candidate $144,000 to support his campaign for mayor. Okay? February 18, 2014, February 23rd, 2014, Harvey mayor belatedly files 3 years of campaign reports. February 18, 2014, lawmakers seek answer from feds about Harvey. Big Derby and Robin County, Congresswoman Robin County, both sent a letter to the Department of Justice asking for answers on how $144,000 of federal funds ended up in the campaign funds for Eric Kellogg. If you want the answers to that question, you need to ask them, but they definitely will be like it. Then the Chicago Tribune came out with 2014, February 13th, an editorial says Harvey was deceived, abused, and ignored. And finally, February 12th, the sheriff seeks to review the finances and police of suburbs. These are just a few of the things, because every week the Chicago Tribune was writing something about the city of Harvey. And as the Chicago Tribune was writing it, Channel 9 was also reporting it, because that's the Tribune company. They were also reporting it. So as these things were happening, People were watching our city go into the ditch. That's exactly what they were doing. Now there are some, of course, who stood to benefit, and they'll be the first ones to jump up and say, there's a different type of story. But you can read it for yourself. Next slide. At which point in time, myself, Shirley Lewinsky, Joseph Whittington, Lamont Brown, decided to pen a letter to the federal government, to the state government, the county government, and anyone else who would listen, to ask them to step into the city of Harvey and offer us some assistance. There was enough information that was already there. The Department of Justice had already done a report on the police department, saying that the police department did not keep records. So they couldn't find, they were supposed to investigate the department to find out what the use of force was. But they couldn't find out what the use of force was because the department did not keep the records to demonstrate what the use of force was. The Cook County Sheriff did a report on the city of Harvey and said that tow truck money was missing. And they couldn't account for where the money for the tolls went. That money was supposed to go into the coffers to help to pay down debt. But for some odd reason, it just disappeared and went somewhere else. And all the while, Shirley Lewinsky, Joseph Whittington, Lamont Brown, and myself kept pleading over and over again for help. We began to protest, even though some like to say we didn't show up for meetings 18 times, isn't that right, Shirley? We began to protest what was happening in the city. Next slide. And so, of course, the editorial board of the Chicago Tribune wrote an editorial about the city of Harvey, excuse me, and basically what was happening and what we were trying to do. Next slide. Once again, Jamar, Matt Wahlberg, kept writing. The editorial called on Governor Rauner at the time to send the Department of Revenue agent to Harvey to encourage the state police to investigate. Was that done? No. The editorial suggested that the Illinois Auditor General could review Harvey's finances. Was that done? No. Actually, if I'm correct, Shirley Lewinsky, we tried to pass an ordinance to allow Tom Dart to be the Inspector General at that, Auditor General at that particular point in time, to take a look at the finances. And even though Tom Dart tried and wanted to get involved, that particular ordinance was vetoed by Eric Kellogg. Next slide. The victims, again, quote, are the residents of Harvey who cannot rely on functional government to serve them. Let it sink in. Aldermen, elected officials who care deeply about their city are pleading for help in whatever way, under whatever legal authority you may have, to intervene into the city of Harvey. Ignoring them further victimizes the residents of this troubled city and the aldermen brave enough to speak out. Christopher Clark, Whittington, Shirley Lewinsky. Next slide, please. So once again, state turns a blind eye to the problems in Harvey. Next slide. And while that was going on, we had additional headlines. Strip club paid the mayor of Illinois for years to allow prostitution at the venues, Fed say. And these are all things that had to be defended in the city of Harvey. This brings, for those who think that maybe I'm not the best mayor in the world, okay? Imagine, let's go back to the days of, what was his name? Mary and Mary. When that first hit the news, and it was said that Mary and Mary were smoking crack in a hotel room. How that impacted Washington, D.C. Or Mayor Ford in Canada, I think he was the mayor of Toronto, I think it was, or Vancouver, whatever. And when your mayor and leadership is made to look that way, it diminishes the credibility, faith, and belief in the institution in which you serve. It diminishes the faith, credibility, and belief in those people. Because in general, this does not happen. But according to this report, former Harvey American Kellogg's brother was convicted in the scheme, which occurred when he was in office. Federal prosecutor says Kellogg is not in charge. Well, I'm not even going to go into that. I'm pretty sure somebody will run to his defense as soon as they possibly can. We'll move on to the next slide. And it just continued on and on. Next slide. Continued on and on because the former Harvey Kellogg pleads guilty in bribery charge. So while we have no credit, because our credit has gone down to the dirt, then the overall perception of the city is that the city is just absolutely crooked. That's the way that it goes. And I can guarantee you, some of y'all will need to loan your cousin, who don't do whatever he or she is supposed to do, $5 to go do something. Imagine someone coming to you and saying to you that they want to borrow $50 million, $200 million. And this is the behavior that has been engaged in. Next slide, please. In addition to that, the city of Harvey purchased water from the city of Chicago. And at the time sold it to 5 municipalities: Richmond, East Hazelcrest, Homewood, and Polson. We used to have plenty more customers. We don't have as many now. But they sold water. And of course they sold water to, if you're a resident of Harvey, you. They sold it to us. And actually, in fact, we paid the highest bill of all of those municipalities, even though we were the ones selling the water. Can you imagine being a farmer and having a milking cow and actually charging yourself more for milk than what you charge everybody else who buys the milk from you? That's what was happening in the city of Harvey. And the city built those downstream communities for water, and they collected that revenue, and they failed to pay it to the city of Chicago. That's two. Let's go back. First was the hotel-motel deal. Money was taken, money disappeared, money that we have to pay back, money was used for operations and other things, but we're still on the hook for it. City built the downstream municipalities for their water, but never paid that money to the city of Chicago. Next slide. But some of y'all will say, no, it can't be true. Well, Harvey illegally diverted water, cash, owed to Chicago, millions missing. Judge rules, not clerk rules, judge rules. We went to court. The city of Harvey went to court, and some of the people in this room also went as well, concerned citizens of the city of Harvey. And during that time, it was established that the city of Harvey, under the previous administration, had diverted water cash that was owed to Chicago, and the money is disappeared. So, even though the money disappeared, we never paid as a city, the city of Chicago, yet who still owes that money to the city of Chicago? The city of Harvey does. Next slide. So then the judge ordered Harvey to pay Chicago $26 million in unpaid water bills. So we got it so far? We got 20 million in a bond deal. We got another 26 million. Okay, my mathematicians out there, I'm pretty sure y'all figured that out real quick. That's $46 million already that we have been on the hook for, that we didn't have the money for, but the money disappeared. Next slide. The judge in that particular case, Kathleen Patrick, said the city's leaders failed to grasp the severity of their years of illegal conduct. Illegal conduct. So we got bond money missing from hotels. Nobody else be charged. Nobody going to jail. We got years of illegal conduct where millions of dollars were missing and 26 million was misspent. No charges. But we had to, what did we get as a result? What was our door prize? Our door prize was a water receiver. And a water receiver was appointed to the city of Harvey to oversee the water money. And the water receiver ended up charging the city of Harvey how much money was it? $4? $4? 400,000. It's got to be 400,000, right? $4 million. So in addition to the 26 million, the 20 million, the receiver hits us up for another 4. And that water receiver was appointed by the courts. So we couldn't get out of that. Now, in 2015, Mayor Emanuel, next slide, announced a settlement with the city of Harvey. So this is all great. The city of Harvey has entered into a settlement with the city of Harvey to collect the unpaid water bills on behalf of Chicago taxpayers. Action ensues. More than $30 million will be recouped from all 4 suburban municipalities who owe Chicago taxpayers. That was in 2015. Was it all paid? No. And we found ourselves, well, we again Shirley Royce back in court again. And each and every time we're in court, we not only have to deal with the publicity of it all, we also have to pay attorneys to represent the city in these particular cases. Next slide, please. So, we asked for oversight. Shirley Joyce, Joe Ray, sitting right here, myself. We asked for oversight. That was vetoed. Next lawsuit. And then came from a guy's head. 5 pension lawsuit. Now, before I make my statements here, I want to make sure that everybody in the room understands that our police department, our fire department, especially our fire department, is probably the best. I don't know better than fire department. I got honest to say. And as far as the police department, even though it's had some challenges, the police department has been able to turn around and make some significant changes in the way it operates and in solving of cases in the city of Harvey. So they are to be commended. But this is not them. This is the fire pension. Okay? And before we get into that, I also got on Fox News, a national program, and got on there and talked to the reporter at the time and said to the reporter that the pensions need to be paid. It's important. Those pensions were a part of the promise that we made to the people who served as our first responders. And so it was important that we paid those pensions. But how they get paid is a total disagreement. So until 2010, the Fire Pension Board filed a lawsuit alleging that since 2005, the city failed to make contributions to its funds. Actually, wasn't it 10 years, Rosewood? It was 10 years that the city of Harvey had not paid the pension obligations to both fire and to police. And in 2015, the trial court held that the city was liable for more than $15 million in damages. Now, a lot of things happened at that particular point in time, and actually, in my opinion, we could have worked to settle that amongst ourselves, but it didn't work that way. So, that's what Chicago Tribune steps in again, for those Chicago Tribune. You go back and you find the quotes. Quote, Harvey has set up a collision course over many years where the beneficiaries of the firefighters' pension fund are being paid substantially out of the money that the firefighters have themselves contributed to the pension fund and the money the pension fund earns from investments, the court wrote. Because it went into court again. In essence, Harvey is robbing Peter to pay Paul. But what happens when Peter retires? Money missing, more money is missing. And instead of the pension holders at the time being paid from the investments, what do you call that thing? It was a pyramid scheme. That's what it was. You familiar with the pyramid scheme? And they basically took the money from what was coming in to pay off the people who were owed. Okay? And the people who were, of course, paying the money that was coming in would never, ever get the opportunity to recoup the return on their investment. When people are convicted of pyramid schemes, usually what happens? What's it, burn your head off? What happens? People get charged. People go to jail. But in the case of the city of Harvey, $15 million wasn't paid, and nothing happens. Next slide, please. So in 2018, the city entered into a settlement agreement with the pension fund. And in 2016, the state passed a law basically allowing the state comptroller to seize the money that the municipality owed to the pension in extreme cases of pension mismanagement. Well, this is one of those cases. So the fire pension fund was $67.6 million underfunded. 12% funded ratio. And after racking up, it says an unfunded liability of $36.7 million and a funded rate of 29%, the police pension sued also. So we were sued by police and fire. And of course, you know what happened. Of course, we were supposed to pay them. They weren't paid. They were supposed to be paid. The court said they were supposed to be paid. And we still didn't pay. And so the police and the fire pension decided that they were going to take action. The seizure of state funding for pensions has resulted in significant layoffs of critical services. Now, this was back in 2018. Next slide. So to be clear, this is not the fault of any city employee. It's not the fault of any employee, and specifically our fire and police. As a mayor, I could not be prouder of our first responders. I could not be prouder of our chiefs. Couldn't be prouder. They have done phenomenal jobs keeping this thing together. Our deputy chiefs and everybody that follows has done a fantastic job, and it's not their fault. It's not the fault of the residents of Harvey either. You've seen cuts in service in 2018. We saw half the fire department was cut. Remember that, guys? Half the police department was cut in 2018 because of this. And we've seen cuts in crucial services. At one point in time, we could not even get garbage service. And the city of Harvey was on television because we weren't paying garbage bill. But what this does is this drives us into a situation where the city, because of all that we owe, will impact us severely. So, next slide. So by the end of the Kellogg administration, the city of Harvey went from a $10 million surplus to $164 million in debt. And nobody in the administration was charged with crime. We only have a little bit more to go, but my city administrator is telling me we probably need to take a break here. So it depends on the council. If the council wants to do something, or would you like to keep going?
Right. Yes, why is it don't take a break?
I want you by first and second, by third, all in favor, say aye. Those opposed? Hearing none, we'll take a break for 5 minutes. We do have, we have Tricia Keith and of course, Harvey Chapman. We will return at 6:55.
Oh my God. So we're on the church break, y'all. They have an intermission. If y'all watching and following along. I'm gonna end this and start it back up when they come back, y'all, so I can plug my phone up.